think I'll be ready.
Oh.
I think it'll be just fine.
What's up, Bengals fam? It's Mike back at you with another Who Daily. I thought I'd do something a little different. This is like my favorite time of the year. You got the March Madness kicking off. You got NFL free agency in full swing. And then you got the draft coming up pretty soon. Love this time of year. But right now, I think the Bengals have been a little quiet outside of the Riley Reef signing, which is huge. But what I want to do today, because it's Friday, I love doing mock drafts on Friday. I'm going to take you through a 7-round mock with the Bengals and then show you what their lineup might look like going into 2021. Obviously, there's going to be some conjecture, and they could still sign. I'm really hoping they're still going after Riley Reef, and I hope there's still a possibility they land Kenny Golladay. So, this could be up in the air, but I wanted to take you through it. Let's get right into it. So, picking as the Bengals. You got to check out the PFF simulator. It's pretty cool. Really like it. Gives you the PFF grades right in there while you're picking. Here we go. So the Bengals, let's see how it falls, right? All right. So before the Bengals pick, the Trevor Lawrence, chalk, Zach Wilson. It's a pretty, the Jets are going back and forth. I think the media is really going back and forth on whether or not they're going to stick with their QB there or if they're going to draft one. But you see the Dolphins go Jamar Chase. I don't know that they do this now. They've made some pretty decent signings in free agency for wide receiver, but especially if like Kenny Golladay decides to go there, I don't think he's really on the table for that. But if this is how the draft board falls, guys, don't let Riley Reef or any other offensive lineman that they sign get in the way of you signing Penei Sewell. For the sake of this video, I'm going to say let's not trade back. Let's take the guy who is unanimously considered to be a future star at left tackle, and that's Penei Sewell. Come on down, Mr. Sewell. Adding some youth to a little bit older offensive line now. The Riley Reef's 32. Trey Hopkins, I think, is 32, 33. And whatever guard they end up signing, unless they sign Trey Turner, who I think is 26. If they sign like a Larry Warford or somebody like this, I mean, they're going to be older. They need youth. They need young talent on that offensive line. They've missed too many picks on that offensive line over the past several years. They need to hit. Here we are at the top of the second, pick 38. This is interesting here because Asante Samuel Jr. Look, they lost William Jackson. They brought in two new corners in free agents, two young new corners in via free agency. Both of them signed for 3 and 4 years respectively. However, I'm of the opinion you can never have too many corners on your team. They went offensive. If you go Penei Sewell in the first round, you also are looking for pass rushers here. And, or wide receiver, one of the two. And I'm just not seeing. I really like Tay Gowan, really do. I might say Tay Gowan over Asante Samuel. Pat Freiermuth is interesting because you don't know what you're going to get out of C.J. Uzomah coming off of an Achilles injury. I expect Drew Sample to take a big leap. I really do. I think he did take a good step forward this past year, and I think he's going to do it again. I have a first-round grade on Asante Samuel. I think he's the number 3 corner in this draft. If you can get the number 3 corner sitting right there at the top of the second, that's solid. There are times where deep corner drafts you're looking at CB 6 or 7 at the top of the second round. So really good value. Now we can start talking about pass rusher because here you see Ronnie Perkins sitting here. Ronnie Perkins is a plus speed pass rusher. The problem is Ronnie Perkins profiles out to be a lot like the guy they just signed in Trey Hendrickson. Joseph Asai, I'm not very high. I don't think he's powerful enough to play a consistent edge in the NFL. He flashes speed and quickness, but he can get bullied by even college tackles that aren't going to play in the league. I really like Rashad Weaver as an edge rusher because he's big. So Rashad Weaver you could be looking at a guy here, 6'5", 270. That's the kind of guy that you can play out there and give you that versatility to get after the passer a little bit, but also play sturdy against the run. Rashad Weaver does remind me quite a bit, actually, of Sam Hubbard, which isn't a bad thing. 2 Sam Hubbards on your team wouldn't be so bad. However, he is a redshirt senior, so he's a little on the older side. Let's look at Ronnie Perkins again. 6'3", 247, a little on the smaller side, but he is a true junior. He's a young player. He's a really super athletic. I think I go Ronnie Perkins here. That's where the value is. Add to that pass rush. You got to get to the quarterback. And Ronnie Perkins, you can stand up and play an outside and a five-man front where you have the outside backers walking up. He can play that outside linebacker spot. He's not great in coverage or anything, but he's athletic enough to play that. Cool. Top of the pick 111, top of round 4. I think we're looking again here. I think this is a good spot to look at some more interior offensive linemen, possibly some defensive interior players. Draft just isn't falling very well to take defensive interior players. The only thing with Quinn, I really like Quinn Meinerz, and I think he would fit in Cincinnati really well because of his personality. He's got that big belly sticking out under his jersey in the Senior Bowl, if you watched it. I really like Kendrick Green, though, out of Illinois. This guy I think is going to be a plus player in the league. 6'4", 315. He's going to be just a stalwart interior lineman. NFL comp Natani Muti. Yeah, I think I'm going there. This would be a steal. I don't know that this happens. I don't know that Kendrick Green falls to the 4th round, but if he does, Bengals should take him. This is shaping up to be a really, really good offensive line draft with just 2 picks, right? So taking a look here at 149, top of the 5th round, I really like Patrick Jones, but right here we have not taken a wide receiver. I think it's time to go wide receiver, and I actually really like that high grade on Nico Collins. Nico Collins is a big wide receiver. He's like 6'4". He's not gonna be super fast, but he's gonna be right in the Kenny Golladay range of speed, right? And if you are one of those #Galladays, and you should be fine with Nico Collins as well, even if you're an Ohio State fan. I know he plays at Michigan, but you gotta chill. Once they put the stripes on, they're a Bengal, baby. Ask Mike Hilton. All right, top of the 6th. What do we got? Larry Borum's an interesting situation here, but I think we've gone two offensive linemen. It's okay to take another one. Here's the thing, though. I think Dwayne Eskridge is going to – I don't think that the simulator's got it going. I think Dwayne Eskridge is going to go probably in the 3rd round. If he's sitting here in the 5th or the 6th round, are you kidding me? We are doing that because his ceiling is just shy of Tyreek Hill. If you've not seen him play, he's got game like Tyreek Hill. That's kind of the way he plays. Super quick, short phone booth type moves, get you off balance, and then just go. And he's very, very high top end speed. So now we're sitting here in the 7th. You guys probably haven't heard of many of these players unless you've done 150 mock drafts like I have. Some of the guys I usually take down here are not here. So what we're going to have to do is, I think that the Bengals might take a kicker in the 7th round, but PFF's mock draft simulator does not have kickers. So, take that for what it is. Teron Jackson out of Coastal Carolina could be an interesting edge player for you. While we're waiting, if you're wondering about the jersey, perfect, baby. Little 55. I'm not sure. I got this as a gift. I'm not even sure what kind of jersey it is, but love it. I also got the old school logo hat. Nice. So Teron Jackson, 6'2", 260. By the way, that's right around the size of Carl Lawson. I'm not saying he is Carl Lawson.
I don't believe you.
Absolutely not. However, he would be a really interesting project to take in the 7th round. He's older, but PFF has him projected as a 6th rounder. He's got huge arms, heavy hands is what they call this. When a defensive lineman has those hands that when he lays them on you, you feel it. You know he's there. He's a super rocked up dude. You know what? Talk myself into it. Teron Jackson, come on down. That 90 PFA, he just dominated whatever conference that he played in. I didn't see it, but yeah, he's really, really good. Let's take a look here at what we got. But I think at the end of the day, what would be, I think, the sexiest pick for the Bengals to make would be to get a future backup quarterback to Joe Burrow in the Notre Dame star, Ian Book. Let's do it. Mr. Book, come on down. Let's check it out. And that'll do it for the mock draft. Let's move on over and see what that makes their lineups, their depth chart look like. All right, let's take a look at the lineup with the free agent. This is the offensive lineup with the free agent signings and the draft we just did. Take a look at the offensive line. You got Jonah Williams playing left tackle. The Bengals already said he's going to play left tackle. I don't think that changes even if they draft Sewell. Two big changes here, and these will be competitions. Don't get me wrong. I think that the Bengals will stick with the proven commodity that they just signed in Riley Reef, even if it's just for 1 year, and then play Sewell if they draft him next to him at right guard to learn from Riley Reef, learn the concepts on that side of the line, so that he can step in a year later if they don't bring Reef back, or even if they do, they may just switch them the following year, right? And then you got Kendrick Green fighting for that left guard position with Mike Jordan, Xavier Su'a-Filo, and if they bring him back, Quentin Spain. But I think Green's better than those guys, even day one, and his ceiling's a lot higher. That right there is an offensive line that brings you to league average, and it probably might be above league average, to be honest with you, but we've been talking about all offseason long. Take this offensive line from worst in the league almost to league average, and Joe Burrow will be able to run this offense effectively. And the only other changes here are backup guys, because your wide receiving core at this point is pretty set unless they sign another guy. You're going to have Higgins on the outside, Boyd playing the slot with Eskridge backing him up. Eskridge is a much different slot player than Tyler Boyd, but he is a problem from a matchup perspective. If you're putting a nickel corner or especially if you put a linebacker on him, there's no linebacker in this league that can cover Dwayne Eskridge. Just isn't. So outside you got Auden Tate and Nico Collins, pretty similar players. Nico Collins is going to be a little bit faster, a little more agile and athletic, and he can go get the balls. But Tate is a contested catch machine. Same thing with Higgins. So this right here, those tight window throws that Joe Burrow really likes to make, this is a wide receiving core right here that will be able to catch all of them. This would be a very good. The only thing I would be kind of clamoring for in this situation would be an upgrade at tight end. So we don't know what you're getting out of CJ Uzomah, but can't get everything in one offseason, right? Let's take a look at the defense. So post-draft, post-free agency new look defense for the Bengals, it is very different from what we saw last year. First of all, you got off the right end, you got Trey Hendrickson rushing, backing him up in that pass rushing situation of Ronnie Perkins. You got Larry Ogunjobi and DJ Reader there with a pretty decent rotation of guys to feed in there. They need to sign another defensive interior player or two, but they've got some guys. You got Sam Hubbard off the left edge. You've got Teron Jackson and Khalid Kareem over there. Kareem first and then Jackson if they end up drafting him. From the corner spot, you got Chidobe Awuzie on one side, Trey Waynes on the other side. You got Mike Hilton manning the slot, and now you have Asante Samuel to rotate with Darius Phillips as that fourth corner to come in on dime situations or rotate in the slot depending on matchups. And you got that same linebacker crew. You've got Bates and Stud, best safety in the league, baby. Write it down. Remember it. Jesse Bates, best safety. And then Von Bell, the Juju Smith train killer right there. This defense can compete. So for now, I'm going to leave it with that. Have a great weekend, you guys. Big time week for the Who Days. Love you guys. I'll see you back here next time.